I think we're live. We are live. Oh my goodness. How are you doing today, Nicole, on this fine, beautiful, amazing day?
I am doing awesome, feeling motivated and excited about everything.
Yeah, no, you know what? I really want to talk about like the journey of like even getting to here, right? Because it's cool when someone makes a decision and you're all nervous and then things end up working out. And it's hard to like it's hard to make that real when you haven't actually experienced it. And so I've been through this process so many times of like, Nicole, you got to trust the process, just trust the process, right? How many times did I actually text you that? I'm
A
pretty sure I
lot,
texted
a
you a couple of
lot, a
times, right?
lot.
I was like, TTP, trust the process.
Yes.
And so I think you're a good example to what's possible when you actually trust the process. And I definitely want to talk about, what you've been doing before, the struggles that you kind of faced, and then obviously the success that you've accomplished so far. So Nicole, welcome to the show, miss.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Cool. And I just want to confirm, you're not a paid actor. Is that correct?
No, I'm not. I'm just a really happy person. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure everyone. Right? Just like me getting like a bunch of paid actors. God, Dan, you're so amazing. Okay, so cool. So Nicole, tell us about yourself, because I think you have a very interesting story, and I know I'm sarcastic on our coaching calls because I'm like, Nicole, she has so much time on her hands, everything's perfect for her. It's the complete opposite of like you're a single mom, you work a full-time job, you have this entrepreneurial spirit within you. And I think what we've gave it is structure and an actual vision. And so anyway, so tell us about yourself, tell us who you are, and tell us about your business.
Awesome. So hi, my name's Nicole. I am a single mom to an awesome 8-year-old. I'm also a teacher. So I've always had the entrepreneur spirit. Growing up, I was always like doing airbrush tattoos at flea markets. I was even like hustling slime like as an adult at flea markets. I make t-shirts, all these things. And I was just always working so hard. Okay. And I wanted to make extra money so I can do fun things with my son. But the problem I had was I was so tired from all these side hustles that like I didn't have time to spend time with my son because I was so exhausted. So I started selling on Amazon and was super successful at it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm a teacher. I know how to teach. I want to start coaching people on how to sell on Amazon. So I met Dan, joined the program, and the Amazon Coach was born.
Ooh, okay. So tell us like the problems that you were facing before, because I think one of the first conversations is like, this is what I really want to do. So, and before that, so you're a teacher. What grade do you teach, and how long have you been doing that for?
This is my 11th year teaching.
Oh my God.
You look really old. That's okay. And I teach middle school art right now. So I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Whoa.
It's a unique time for children.
And so this live stream is not public everywhere, but how long have you been thinking about like wanting to do something like this and wanting to kind of grow your own business and something that's not just this little side hustle, but something that could actually grow into something that can be more real, like a full-time gig?
That was always the vision. I think I just had so many ideas and I needed help like focusing my energy and my efforts. And so now that I'm focused, I'm starting to be successful.
Yeah, I love that. So what are some problems that you were facing before? Like, how long did you want to start this coaching program? Because it wasn't like, I want to start a coaching business, talk to Dan, and then everything worked out. Like,
right.
There's obviously not pain, but there was obviously the struggle of, I remember when we had that conversation and we had our first conversation, I think, or a second, and you're like, Dan, and then we had a third conversation. You're like, Dan, I keep thinking about you. And I was like telling my friends about you. And I don't know what to do. And I know this. So like, tell us about that, of how you wanted to do this and the struggles that you were facing trying to do it on your own.
So I think the biggest struggle for me was that I just had all these ideas. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, I want to make money. I want to coach people. I want to sell on Amazon. But I didn't know how to actually do it. I was like, okay, before I can do anything, I have to have a perfect e-course and I have to figure out technology. Like I actually have my goals written up here on my wall of all the things I was trying to do at one time.
I love that.
And then I was like, okay, I need to buy a course on how to edit videos and all these things. And then I got so overwhelmed. I was just like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And I lost that like focus and drive.
Yeah. And then so Like, so you didn't do that. So what? So you just were overwhelmed and then you didn't take any action? Like
Yes.
what was the thing?
I had all intents to take actions. I was like, okay, step one, you know, I'm a teacher, so I break everything down. Step
Yeah.
one, learn how to like edit videos. Step two, like I need to do this and that and all these things and hire a marketing team and put ads. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is just too much. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I talked to you, like we talked the first time for like over an hour, second time, well over an hour. And
Yeah.
then the third time, you know, I was like, I need you. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. 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 That's awesome. So, why did you choose working with me over anyone else? Like what did you see within what I offered that gave you the trust and the confidence to move forward?
So I think with you, it was just really awesome. I watched you grow from like the beginning because we were in some stuttering groups together.
Yeah.
And, you know, and he was like, hey guys, I'm doing some speech therapy. And then like that moved to something else. And so I think one day I saw in a Facebook group that you posted like, hey, I'm creating a group to teach people how to make, like how to become coaches. And so I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll join, you know?
Yeah.
And then I just watched you become so successful, and that really motivated me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I think what made me really like interested in working with you is after I turned you down twice for joining your program and standing you up once, you messaged me and you were like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, awful. And you were like, why? And I was like, just so many reasons why it's going terrible. And you were like, okay, how about we hop on a Zoom, a free Zoom, and I will help you. And so
Yeah.
I shared my struggles and my problems, and Dan just solved my problems. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I have to work with you. Like, I need this to happen. And it's
Yeah.
been
What
one of
was,
the
yeah,
best
what
decisions.
was the conversation? I think we had like 2 or 3 calls and then I was like, you know what, let's just jump onto another call.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, you should be doing this. You should be doing this. And then it was like dead air. And then you're like, Dan, I want to work with you. I'm
Right.
like, okay, so what are we waiting for? I don't know.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, I'll do it.
I'm like, well, let's do it right now.
And then you ran to go get your credit card. That was funny, but it was scary in the moment because you're a single mom. You have a full-time job, like
I'm
you're
a
busy.
teacher,
Like
so let's not real
you're a
like, you know, I don't
teacher.
make that much. Yeah.
Like it's not like this. You just have like, money to just throw around. It's just there was, and I'm a big advocate of even as a coach in my position, like I have to be a strong rock to people of like, you have to just trust the process. You have to put your back against the wall. And so it's courage from my part to actually have the confidence and the conviction to be like, let's do this. But I know like, if you're just like, yeah, just coming for free, it's whatever. It's not going to be the same type of energy. And so I'm sure as you start coaching people, you're gonna model the same behaviors as me, right? So, cool. Any words to that before I go to my next question? Because
Yeah.
I think it's very powerful.
And honestly, I think the fact that it was like a financial struggle for me made me like jump in as hard as I possibly can. Cause I was like, I got to make money. And like, and that really helped my drive. I don't think I saw that in the beginning, but now like looking back and reflecting, like I needed that. I needed to be all in and have that
Yeah.
ownership over it. And that really helped.
Yeah. Like there has to be pain.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, yeah, like I'm struggling. But it's like when someone like that big line of people vote with their wallet, like you can talk the talk all day, but can you walk the walk? And so I love that situation where someone's like, I really want to do this. And then they're like struggling getting out their credit card. And it's just like, this is something that you have to overcome. Because if you can't, like as a coach, right? Your clients are going to be a reflection of you. So if you struggle with that, how the heck can you convince someone else to do that?
Right.
Right. So anyway, you're kicking butt and you're inspiring our whole crew. Such a very short time. Because if you think about it, how long have you been in our program for?
So about 2.5 weeks. Maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, cool.
So,
and you were traveling, and you're like, I gotta get to work. I gotta like you're working on your vacation.
Yeah, because initially I was like, I'm not gonna start till like a week after this, and then I was like, no, I just need to be all in. So I'm all in.
Yeah, cool. So, was there anything specific that really helped you with your own coaching program and really growing it? What were some like needle movers so people that are watching this right now can learn from? What were the 1 or 2 things that really helped you move the needle?
Well, first of all, the training that I've received from you and your whole team have just been like absolutely amazing. And I am always all over the place. So y'all have helped me stay focused, and you've taught me like how to reach out to people, how to establish and build those relationships with potential customers.
Yeah.
So now it's really great when I meet with somebody, like we start off by just talking, like, tell me about yourself. And I'm really developing like friendships with them as well. And then that kind of increases like the trust that we have. And then when I tell them about my mentorship coaching program, they're like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. How do I like, how much is it? I'll pay right now. And they've been really receptive to it. So that's been super helpful.
Yeah, that's crazy because you're in Texas, but you've enrolled people, you said, in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting all the Canadians. You're paying a Canadian, and then a Canadian is paying you back. People in the US. Did you say Australia as well? Like where are your clients? Isn't that ridiculous?
California, yeah, and another one in Texas, which is cool. So I'm sure we'll do it one day.
Craziness. And so, yeah. And also talk about like pricing.
Okay,
of where we started and then how we're slowly moving up and how it was right the whole time.
So, all right. So when I first talked to Dan, I was like, look, I am creating this program. It is for teachers and single moms, you know, who are trying to make extra money, and I'm going to charge $47. And Dan was like, $47. So I'm like, that's my number. And he was like, okay, like we can work with that. So then I was like, all right, it's going to be $97.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're improving. I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, 197. So my first client I sold for 197, right?
Yeah.
And then I went to my second client and I was like, 297, you know? Yeah. And then I went to my third client and I was like, it's only $397. They're like, oh, a month? And I was like, I should have said yes. I was like, no, that's the whole thing. So definitely learning to grow and improve, which has just been amazing. And it was scary at first. Like, honestly, like I felt scared like to ask someone for that much money, but I'm like offering them so much value, you know, that it like really worked out. So.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that because I even think 397 is a crazy deal as well. I know, but like, are you starting to realize like what you're worth and what people are willing to pay for that type of value? Are you starting to get that now?
I absolutely am. And then I have people who just want to pay me like an hourly rate and stuff. And I'm like, join my program. So, I mean, it's, it makes me feel good. And I've also just like learned so much and like, I like my time is valuable. I have awesome advice for them, you know, so I should be raising my prices.
Yeah, because people who don't value themselves will think, well, I'm only worth this price. But when you start to actually value yourself, and sometimes, yes, you need to start off at a lower rate. That's totally fine. But as you start to have more confidence in you, your pricing needs to reflect that, right? Because, you know, they'll actually take it more seriously, right? It's the same thing with you. If I was like, yeah, my program's $50, you might have not had the same drive to show.
Right. No, exactly. I probably wouldn't have. I would have been like, I'll get to it. It's going to be there.
Yeah, I'll get to it. It's only $50, right? Very cool. Okay. So let's keep on going. So tell us about some results. I know we just talked about it, but give me some results that you've accomplished so far. So you've enrolled 4 people within your first week. Obviously your goal is to enroll 12, but what other results, maybe like personal results that you've had within yourself from your end?
Well, so the first thing is when I was in the beginning, when I was posting content, it was taking me like 3 hours to make one like 30-second video, right? And now I realize people like to see like the real you. They like that. So I've definitely been more open with like posting. I take videos of me like in the grocery store, like in my classroom, in my car, all those things. And people respond really well to that. I also learned that like when they hop on a call with me, they kind of feel like they already know me. So they're like, hey, how's it going? How's your son? You know, and they always ask questions like that. So I've learned about that. I've learned the value of like my skills so that I can hopefully start pricing that a little bit more appropriately. And like you guys have just taught me like how to run a Facebook group. Oh, and another cool thing is there's this huge Facebook group that like I've been meeting people in.
I heard.
Oh, you heard? Yeah. So like now I was kind of worried I was going to get kicked out for like, you know, talking to people so much. And now I'm a moderator. So that's cool.
You're just taking over and conquering everywhere you go. Yeah, no, I was just looking at some of the comments. And so Gabe says, need to be worth your time. So glad you raised it. Love that.
Oh, thanks, Gabe.
Gabe's awesome. Yeah. And you know what? Let's also talk about that too, which is because I think a lot of people don't realize this. They think I'm just buying a course, or I'm just buying a bunch of videos,
Oh
or
yeah,
I'm just buying a bunch of coursing, or a bunch of coaching. But I think one of the most valuable things that people should find when they're looking for help is a community of other people. And so I am going to brag about that, because I believe we have it's a fairly newer community, but talk about that, because I pick and choose who I bring in, and I only want to bring in the best.
right.
So talk about the community aspect of whether
Yeah,
you guys choose a coach like myself or someone else. I think this is one of the most vital things that I feel like has helped you as well.
absolutely. So okay, in the beginning, like I again thought I was just buying a course where I could talk to you, right? But it's actually like a whole community, and we all talk like quite often. We are audio messaging each other like multiple times a day, or
Yeah.
like, hey, does this look dumb if I post this? And we're like getting feedback from each other. Another member, Nick, we are talking a lot together because we're at the same point. I talked to Gabe a lot also,
Yeah.
and Kayla. It's just been amazing. Like we're all just like a big little like entrepreneur family. So
Yeah. Yeah. And why do you think that's important for people?
because we are encouraging each other, and we're also facing the same struggles together, so we can like talk about how to overcome those struggles. That's just
Whereas,
important.
yeah, where before you were just struggling by yourself.
Right, I was all alone, and now I'm like, hey Dan, I don't understand this, or hey Kayla, I'm having a breakdown, and she's like, okay, let's work through it. It's just amazing. This how we've all become this little like entrepreneur family.
Yeah. And then you guys are also all learning from me of like how I do it, and how you guys can model that. So a big question before I continue is, how do you feel? How does this make you feel? Because I'm very big on like the results are just a byproduct of everything, but how do you feel? Like, are you like rejuvenated, excited? Like, I think it's
Well,
a good example of like what's possible.
no, absolutely. I feel really accomplished. I think a lot of times I set goals and I get so overwhelmed, I just don't really do it. But this is like, I mean, I feel like I follow through and I feel like it's working. Because in the beginning, like right after I purchased your program, I was like, oh man, I think I messed up. And I was like terrified, right? But now that I'm like doing what you said, I'm following the modules, I'm attending all of your awesome Zooms, and they support you like all the time, which is just great. So I'm feeling really positive about it. And I feel really like accomplished. So
Yeah. Like, do you feel like you're aligned with where you want to go in life now? Like, do you
yes,
see like there's like a light where you're going?
absolutely. I was imagining me as like a 65-year-old teacher with like kids like biting and throwing chairs at me, right? And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I might be able to like drop my kid off at school and like go have lunch and like maybe even be the room parent. And it's just like, it's giving me like so much hope for like things, and I can travel and like,
That
because
just gave me
coaching you can do
chills.
anywhere.
That just gave me chills. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You know what? I've been living a life for a while, so I'm kind of used to it. But before, it was very similar. I was working 12 hours a day. You're almost like doing something, and like obviously you've been in this profession for a while, but I think it's like taking real control of your life and what you really want to do. So I love it. Cool. I think we just talked about it, but how has your life changed since joining the program?
I just know that I am not going to be a teacher forever, and I am going to be a successful entrepreneur that is going to be like traveling and like being the room mom and team mom and all those things. So I'm really excited about that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm sure none of your teacher friends are in this group. So
I'm also playing hooky today. So
Okay. Next question. Where do you think you would be right now if you didn't take any action the day you were like, let's do it?
I would still just have my post-it notes on the wall with no check marks on all the things I accomplished. And I would be just knowing that I'd be teaching forever, which would be very sad.
Oh my God. You're awesome, Nicole. Okay, cool.
Just to clarify, I do love kids. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I've been doing it a long time. I've been doing it a really long time.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. As entrepreneurs, it's like there's this version of us that we want to like move into more, but we're being pulled the other direction. And we're like, how do we figure this version out? How do we do more of this? And it's like, but you got bills, you got this, you got reality, you got your current situation. And so I think what's happening to you is you're slowly shifting, and there's obviously a time delay, but yeah, I think by next year.
I'm really, really hoping. So feel free to
Yeah.
join my program, the Amazon Coach, and learn more.
Yeah, you're awesome. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. And then the final question is this. For the people that have been watching me or watching other videos or testimonials, or they know deep down they should be doing something like this, what words would you have for them, for the people that are on the fence?
Okay, so I would absolutely say do it, because you're not just buying like a pre-recorded module thing. Like you get
Yeah.
that, but you're getting like full support. And when I say full support, it's not like you email them and they answer you like, in a day or so. No, I'm saying like, hey, can you talk right now? And they're like, yeah, like, so not only with like how to do things, like for me, I am tech savvy with some things, but with other things I'm not. So I will message Dan and his team and be like, hey, I don't know how to do this. And they're like, cool, let's hop on a Zoom and we will rock it out. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, I mean, you're not just buying a program, you're buying you're buying a community of helpful, amazing individuals who just motivate you and will help you with every step along the way. So you should definitely
Now,
do it.
what would you say if people go, oh, you don't get Nicole, I don't have any money, that's another conversation, right? Because everyone has access to money. Oh, Nicole, you don't get, I don't have any time. What would you tell those people?
Okay, I would say this. So I'm a single mom, right? And when I say single mom, like I mean it's me and my son. There's no one else. So I have him all the time. He's in sports, and then I'm an art teacher, so I get voluntold lots of things I need to do. And I was able to pull it together and make it happen. And I mean, I'm working during my lunch break. I work at night. I work and anytime I can after my son is asleep, and I've been making it happen. So if I can do it, if this Texan teacher can do it, so can you.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. And so what is the goal right now? The goal is to enroll about 12 people into your beta program. Is that
10
the
to
goal?
12, yes.
10 to 12. I know, right? As you get more people, you're like, all right, 10, 10, 10. Very cool. Cool. Well, guys, I haven't checked the chats, but I hope you've enjoyed this interview. Nicole, is there any last words that you want to tell the audience?
You got this. Make it happen. You can do it. Trust the process.
TTP. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. If you guys have any questions, definitely reach out to me. Reach out to Nicole, and we'll talk later. Okay, bye-bye.